All right. What is going on, fellas? We are back. We are a day away from playoff football. So you know what that means. We got to get our last ditch, our last efforts into playoff best ball. We now know the seeding. We know exactly who's playing who. We know, the likely pass to the Super Bowl. We know who's on bye. A lot more information doing these playoff best ball drafts than we had last time we did them. And certainly since we were in Buffalo a couple weeks ago, we had to do a lot of predicting. And obviously our Detroit Lions let us down a little bit. But for the most part, I think we did a decent job. I think at the time we were assuming that Buffalo would get the bye. We didn't obviously anticipate the situation that happened, but for the most part, I think we did a decent job.
I actually said on the again, obviously not in the way that it happened, of course, thoughts and prayers, full recovery for DeMar. But I remember on the live stream, I said, well, listen, like given the schedule differences, I think we should be drafting Chiefs as if they were the 1 seed. And I mean, now they are the 1 seed. So if you got that little bit of an edge, like clearly, especially on Buffalo Bills players, then that's a big bonus because that was, the way it worked out, the way it materialized. You're getting Bills now at the 2 seed. You're getting Bills for all the playoff games. And you're not worrying about them potentially going on the road to play KC. It's going to be in a neutral site game over there in Atlanta if they do play. So in terms of your Bills, exposure from then to now, they've definitely gotten a big uptick in value.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get right into a draft as people start to file in. We'll discuss some more things and stuff, but figure we get right into it. No need to waste any time. We have Spicy Hot backseat drafting for us. You guys know what the drill is. We're not able to do these drafts in Ontario as we're currently sitting right now. But we're about to enter one. If you guys have an Underdog account and you're watching this, you want to go to the Gauntlet 2. That is the one that we were entering. I wish we had mittens to do that are $5 drafts, but the mitten 4 actually filled up very, very fast the other day.
In a day?
Yeah, in a day. And they're probably, I would imagine, not going to drop another mitten because the playoffs kick off
tomorrow.
27 hours from now. So I don't know if they'll have, feel confident enough to be able to open another mitten, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's going to be a mitten 5. Anyways, you can go ahead and hit the yes button there. Spicy, we are going to be right into this. I have the playoff picture pulled up beside me. So if we need to quickly make reference to like who's likely to play who and what we need to happen if this happens kind of thing, we have that ready to go. So like I said, if you guys want to join, there's a couple more spots in here. If you already have an Underdog account, of course, use that promo code FSE. If you do not have an Underdog account, and you'll get 100% back. Our contest also ends tomorrow before the wild card game. So if you guys want to still get access to one of those free $50 on-site credits, then you got to use that promo code before tomorrow. We're going to basically be taking anybody pretty much from the entire month of December and January and putting that into that contest. So if you used our promo code during that time, there's a good chance that you're going to win. Like I said, if you don't already have an Underdog account, definitely going to be a very, very fun way for you to get some action on the playoffs. Fantasy football is over, but you can still get some fun action over here. We have actually Chris Spags in the draft.
Yeah, that's sorry. Like you probably heard me like slightly say it because like I just vocalized it. But yeah, no, Spags in here. Big shout out to him. But yeah, like as Corey said, it's basically free money. You have a chance to win some free money. Why wouldn't you get involved?
Yeah, it's free money on the deposit because you get 100% back. Free money that you could win, and also we'll get into this after the draft is over. But there's a free boosted pick'em line right now for using our promo code. All the Underdog incubators have this, but our promo code obviously is the one that we would prefer that you use. Promo code FSE. You'll get Justin Herbert higher than 0.5 completion, so that's an easy leg for you to hit on like a 3 pick'em parlay. That's a 6x. A 4 pick'em parlay is what, a 10x, I believe. And then a 5 pick'em parlay, I believe, is a 20x, but you get one for free. So we are in the draft now. It is the 105 is where we are picking. Probably going to be one of these bye week quarterbacks that slides to us. I'd imagine either Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Maybe Christian McCaffrey is the guy that slides to us here. We'll see what Spags is going with. He went with McCaffrey.
Nice Hurts there.
Hurts to me is probably the easy pick. Yeah. I hope that we get one of Diggs or Chase to fall back to us, so we don't have to load up on like
or Kelce.
Yeah, the interesting thing...
Oh, the 1 seed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, then it's 2 1 seeds. But the other interesting thing, though, is now that we know who's going to all be in the playoffs, we could build out a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl and hope that we can advance, hit the nuts on the 5 players that we draft in the first round. So that's another interesting wrinkle because I don't think a lot of people are going to draft as if you get 2 1 seeds in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, odds-wise, it would... We are expecting that both of those guys are expected to go the furthest in the playoffs on the AFC and NFC sides, respectively, because they have a bye week.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big wrinkle this year because obviously, by the way, Chase or Diggs, I'm fine with either. Which one would you lean? Probably Diggs.
I think I'd go Diggs. I think it's easier to stack up cheaper Bills than it is cheaper Bengals later on in the draft.
Plus, you're getting the team with higher implied Super Bowl odds. You're getting a team that could potentially play a neutral
A
site
neutral
AFC
site game,
Championship
yeah.
game. So, yeah, I would agree there. Talking about what I was mentioning, right, with the Hurts Kelce start hypothetically, if you were to build Eagles and Chiefs, right? So, as we know, they're two of the top teams in terms of Super Bowl odds. They have really good chances both at making the Super Bowl, and because we know last year that the one seeds were so weak, whereas this year they have like legitimate chances of reaching the Super Bowl. If you're able to build out a team, you only need 5 players for that championship game. So yes, like you're going to need a lot to go right in that first round. You're going to need pretty much a weak group. You're going to need pretty much the players, the one-offs that you pick to have like very, very strong starts. But if you can advance five players from the one seeds to the Super Bowl, you're going to have a big leg up on the rest of the competition.
Do you know off the top of your head if this Gauntlet 2 is a 2 advance or a 1
It's
advance?
one advance.
It's a 1 advance? Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, like some of these contests differ in the fact that maybe you only need to advance 1 out of 6 versus 2 out of 6. Obviously, if you advance 2 out of 6, you can take a little bit more risks. There's a couple guys. I think Smith is probably the guy that we have to go with here, just given that we stacked up Eagles. I do like Kittle's value, though. If he falls back to us, I think we should grab him. Because the 49ers and Eagles aren't very likely to play each other until the NFC Championship game also. So
I'd probably butt in with
Gabe Davis.
Davis or Sanders, I would say, personally.
Yeah, I like personally, I like mixing in one-offs in championship games because it helps you advance, especially considering we do have, Eagles who are going to be on a bye in the first week. And also it's a little bit of a differentiation too.
Yeah, I guess.
What if in the NFC Championship, I guess Kittle just went, but like hypothetically, what if in the NFC Championship, George Kittle has like a 30-point game and he helps us get to the Super Bowl as a result?
It's definitely fair. It's definitely fair.
Yeah, I think Davis is the easy answer here for me.
Davis over Sanders for you?
We don't have a running back yet. Maybe I would go Sanders.
I'd probably
go Sanders.
Yeah, just because like the reason why is like if we're talking about production bundles realistically, would you rather Davis and I don't know, Gainwell or maybe James Cook, or would you rather like Sanders and maybe a Goddard or maybe an Isaiah McKenzie later?
Yeah, or even Dawson Knox. Guys like that. Yeah, those are pretty easy. So hopefully Davis falls back to us. He probably won't because the Josh Allen owner is probably going to take him at some point. But yeah, we still have Singletary on the board. Hopefully, if you want to start Singletary, you can go ahead and do that. Same with Goddard.
Honestly, just Bills and Eagles. We can start. And,
I do like to build out a secondary team, like another maybe like a double stack of like a first round team. Like maybe we can grab if Saquon falls back to us or like Keenan Allen potentially slides a little bit, we could grab somebody like that. Keenan Allen just went. Hopefully we can get Singletary before he goes off the board because I think he's kind of a little bit of a tier break at running back given what our team needs. I'm not a huge fan of like just bypassing Singletary for James Cook. I think Singletary is still mainly the guy there. I think a lot of people are going to get cute and just be like, oh, I'm never going to take Singletary. I'm just going to take James Cook. And of course he went.
I mean,
Goddard.
We could go Goddard and Cook on this turn.
Goddard here, I think.
Yeah. I don't mind going Goddard and Cook maybe on this turn.
Yeah. If Cook falls back, that'd be pretty solid there.
And then we probably have to build off another one-off because we have already our 4 Eagles.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on taking Saquon as a one-off here, given that we have to advance out of round 1 and we have Sanders as our first running back?
I'd probably wait around and see if I can get like an ETN type.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's not a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? People might have the same ideology, and people might be waiting, and he might actually go here. Actually, no, okay. People might just be trying to build up their stacks. He may fall. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the way I'm looking at, I personally would go Barkley here. I think it's a good texture pick,
Cook, but
I just don't think. I think a lot of people are going to have that, and I think if we just bank on Sanders being our guy down the stretch, we should be fine. And I don't think James Cook's going to provide enough value over replacement versus what Barkley can give us if we get 2 games out of him.
I don't mind going with Saquon here because it's possible that Cook could fall back, and realistically, like people we're looking at this as a one-off realistically with Saquon Barkley. But I mean, what if there's a chance that the Vikings do lose that game? What if there's
likely you're gonna play the Eagles in the second round if that happens. But if you get a 20-point win out of the Giants,
I was saying it like maybe you get more weeks of utility from him.
No, that's what I mean. You're probably only going to get a max 2 though, because they're going to play the Eagles in the second round if they beat Minnesota, most likely, unless somehow Seattle upset San Francisco.
Yeah, that would be the way,
which would never happen. So I'm just not even going to bank on that. I would say at best you're getting 2 weeks out of Barkley, but since we have our first running back is on bye, since we have a couple Eagles players on this team, if you get a 20-point week out of Saquon and they beat the Minnesota Vikings, and then you get a 15-point week out of Saquon and they lose to the Eagles, then that's a worthwhile pick. Getting that production out of Barkley, because we know what he can do. Obviously, break off the long runs, catch a lot of passes, score a lot of touchdowns.
Also, I'm sorry, but go back here. So Herbert was the 36th overall pick. Dak was what, the 30th overall pick, I believe. How are we taking Brock Purdy like 20 picks ahead of those guys?
Dude, people are really in on the 49er fever, man. Everybody's really excited about that. Do we have an AFC quarterback that we can use in the first round? Like Trevor Lawrence is probably the guy.
Trevor Lawrence is the guy
to me, yeah, as somebody that I'd probably be interested in.
T-Long Kirk, maybe.
Tom Brady's also, I guess, kind of interesting too, because if we're assuming that the Giants beat the Vikings, then Tom Brady wouldn't see the Eagles until the NFC Championship if they made it. Yeah,
it's interesting there. I would probably go with T-Law and maybe stack him with Kirk, I would say.
Yeah. Do we want to one-off Godwin if he falls here also?
I would rather Knox.
Yeah, I would as well, but if Godwin falls again, I think we have to take him.
Perhaps,
Evans, potentially. We could go Evans also. Oh, Knox, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would say go with one of them maybe, and then go with
McKenzie on the second part, probably.
McKenzie or Brady, yeah. I would probably say that.
I like Godwin better, just given the matchup that they have against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think Godwin's probably the more likely productive guy there. I would go Chris Godwin first, and then we'll go with McKenzie hopefully on the other side. We already have 4 Eagles, right? So if we get an Eagle, we can already field a starting roster if we got an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl, right? Like we have Hurts, we have Sanders, we have Diggs, we have Goddard, and we have Smith.
We probably need one more Bill.
I would say we need one more Bill,
McKenzie.
But I'm when I have these like 1 seed teams with the Eagles or with the Chiefs, I'm looking to build out 5 or 6, maybe 7 at most players in the Super Bowl, and the rest of the time I'm focused on advancing my teams and advancing them in a way that I'm still getting good production longevity wise. Like I don't want to just be drafting a bunch of one and done players, but if you get 2 weeks out of all of your one-offs, at least maybe 3 weeks out of some of them, then you're going to be in good shape.
I wouldn't mind. Okay, so it's tough here. Would you just
should be the pick here?
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, would you go with Evans here then?
Yeah, I would. I think he should be the pick here.
Yeah, I mean he's got good value at this point.
Yeah.
What I don't understand,
we'll probably need to prioritize quarterback. So Brady kind of makes sense now that we have Evans.
Brady, yeah. Okay, what I don't understand, this is what I was going to say, right?
Lawrence just went too, which is unfortunate.
Basically, we've noticed in these drafts that the Bucs have maintained their ADP, but the Cowboys players' ADP has fallen off dramatically.
Right.
What I don't understand, that screams to me a market inefficiency, because if we're expecting the Cowboys to, lose this game based off the market, again, a lot of their players
they are favored by Vegas to win the game still.
No, I get that, but like if we're expecting the Cowboys to, lose because they've looked bad and they're falling crazy in ADP, why isn't the market favoring the Bucs? Or vice versa, if the Bucs aren't moving up, why are the Cowboys moving down so much?
Oh shit,
we probably rankings.
Yeah, we probably could have went with McKenzie there. I actually forgot we took Godwin. I thought we took McKenzie with our last pick, so I'm a little stunned. But
that's calm. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, if we grab Brady here, I think we're in good shape. It's possible we get 3 weeks out of Brady, right?
Yeah. No, I don't mind that. Getting Brady.
Again, we don't know what's going to happen in the NFL playoffs. It's a complete mess of situations and circumstances. We have no idea if the Giants are going to do anything. We have no idea if the Bucs are going to do anything, but we want to structure our team in a way that if the bets that we're inherently making when we make these selections play out, then we have a great team. So do we maybe want to grab one more running back to get another shot at advancing, or do we just want to roll with? I think Sanders and Barkley's probably fine. We don't really.
Sanders and Barkley's probably fine. If you wanted to, you could mix in a Leonard Fournette with the hopes that the Bucs, they would play the Niners.
We could go with a Tyreek one-off too, and just hope that he gets a great game. Yeah. I actually think I would go Fournette here. I think I would
too. I'd go.
Yeah, we'll go with Fournette there. It's not a bad mix in. So basically, what we're betting on with this team is that the Bills go for we have a lot of NFC players. So obviously that's kind of, not ideal totally, because the only player that we have on the AFC side of things is Diggs. But if we get, high scoring NFC playoff games, maybe some underwhelming AFC playoff games, because I think most people will make the inverse bet that the AFC side of things will be higher scoring. And Brady and the Bucks beat the Cowboys. Then they go to the second round and beat the 49ers. And then they meet the Eagles in the NFC Championship, who just beat the New York Giants. Then it's a possibility that we'll have a really good team here. I think this is a pretty unique build also. I don't think a lot of people will have something like this.
Realistically, we should have built out more AFC, at least having.
We probably should have at least grabbed McKenzie, I think.
However, I mean, like, this is the type of team that can make it past the NFC Championship if things were to fall right. And yeah, you're probably not going to win the Super Bowl, I would say. But I mean, like, realistically, I mean, we have 4 Eagles players. We should be able to,
I think what people should be focusing on more, I know it's like a top-heavy tournament and you want to win the most money, but I think you should be focusing on hitting the nuts in the Super Bowl rather than trying to get as many teams to the Super Bowl as you can. Because if you focus on hitting the nuts, then you're probably going to be in a good spot. You need luck to break your way regardless. So if you get, a good advance rate type of, model going where you're getting a bunch of teams to the Super Bowl and you get 5, 6, 7 players in the Super Bowl, then I think it's fine. I think people go a little bit too, I want to play for the top prize sometimes. And that it seems a little bit more minus EV type of move. If that's all you're focused on is getting to the top prize, you need to also make sure that you have a good chance of advancing most of these teams.
Yeah, facts.
It's a fine balance, obviously, right? Because all the money's at the top, but you do want to advance some teams at the same time.
I agree. Yes, sir. Oh, Rom, sorry. What's up, lads? Hope you all doing well. You still doing Dynasty decisions? Would love to get my team submitted. Yeah, so we're going to be doing more Dynasty decisions this offseason. Obviously, in season, it was tough to, keep consistent with them. But maybe next week after, we'll plan it out and figure it out.
I would say next Saturday or next Friday, we should do a Dynasty decisions episode. We are going to be breaking down our rankings updates because we're in the process of updating our Dynasty Rankings Manifesto to the Dynasty Rankings Manifesto 2.0, which for those of you guys that are patrons, will be dropping, probably Sunday, Monday area. So that'll be all done and ready for you guys in case you have some startup drafts. And of course, Jonathan, our buddy in the chat, will build out a checklist for you guys that want to do them and use them in your startup draft as well. So that'll be super, super cool, and that'll be coming pretty soon. But after that, once that's updated, we're going to break down rankings via video format, and then we'll do some Dynasty Decisions videos. So that'll probably be, mid-January that we get into that stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Appreciate that. Smooth. Purdy goes too high. This is actually a very good point, right? Because CMC is a first-round pick. We've already talked about that CMC is probably the most overvalued pick in these best ball drafts. So it makes sense. If somebody's already picking an overvalued player in the first round, they're just going to reach on the subpar quarterback in the second or third round. Like I've seen parts where Purdy's going legitimately second round in these drafts. And I get it. The Niners have a great roster. They've been playing some great ball. But what if there's a situation against Philly, against Dallas, maybe even against Tampa Bay, where the Niners go down 10-0, the Niners go down 13-0, 14-0. Let's just say hypothetically they get off to a slow start. Are we really trusting Brock Purdy to be able to come back from that situation? At least I know if the Cowboys, the Eagles, or the Bucks were to go in that situation, that they have the quarterback to be able to, fight them out of that spot. I don't think Brock Purdy is that guy. Like realistically, cool. Like he's got some nice EPA. So did Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo even in the playoffs in years past. Yes, he can advance because that's a very, very good team. That's a very, very good scheme. But if you need your quarterback to go out and win you a game, which you're going to need to against the top competition in your conference, do we trust Purdy? Do we trust Jimmy Garoppolo? I personally don't.
Yeah, I think my thoughts on the 49ers is they could make an NFC championship run, but I think that's where their road would stop. I think they probably would not beat the Eagles or the Cowboys in the NFC championship or the Bucks potentially if they're playing them. And they absolutely will not beat the AFC Super Bowl representative if they make the Super Bowl.
I just see everybody and their mother picking the 49ers to play like the Chiefs, 49ers to play the Bills in the fucking Super Bowl. Every fucking person I see.
It's definitely again, they have the roster, they have the coaching, all that kind of stuff. But
you know why that is?
What we're going to be rooting for our own, NFL playoff best ball shares is we need a down CMC game this week, because if all those CMC teams get bounced in the first round, that's going to be extremely, extremely good for us. If Elijah Mitchell punches in 2 touchdowns again and Christian McCaffrey has a 10-point day, we're going to definitely be in a really, really good spot.
Yeah, especially from leverage.
Because I do have a lot of 49ers players. So if Ayuk and Kittle are the ones that score the touchdowns and it's not McCaffrey, then I think I'm going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, it's just the reason why I think everybody's picking the 49ers, because hear me out, right? They know that the Eagles, they've been a great team all year, but realistically the last few weeks haven't really looked the greatest. Jalen Hurts dealing with the shoulder. And nobody has conviction to pick the Cowboys. So they're going to look to the next team. Okay, what's the next team that we could pick that's not Philadelphia? It's going to be San Francisco. I think that's the majority of the market right now and how people are reacting.
Is it possible that the Vikings are very undervalued?
I don't think.
I mean, we think the Vikings are kind of fraudulent, but at the same time, winning close games is a skill, and it's something that's going to matter in the playoffs when everybody's a good team.
Why is Vikings versus Giants quite literally just the come out with the close games type of game? Like we know it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal. We just don't know which team's going to be able to kick it.
Yeah, I think taking the Giants against the spread in that game is probably a pretty decent.
It's only 3 points.
Move. It is 3 points. That's what it is right now.
That's pretty crazy.
He actually says so. Leonardo says any upsets for this weekend. So I would say you're obviously not predicting an upset for the Seahawks or for the Dolphins or for the Ravens, most likely, because they got like backup quarterbacks. And Geno Smith has been playing poorly. So the only upsets that you could have probably are Bucks beat the Cowboys, Giants beat the Vikings, or Jaguars beat the Chargers. I would say of those three, the most likely, in my opinion, is the Jags win because they're the ones at home.
Yeah.
I guess the Bucks are also at home against the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys are a better team than the Bucks as it currently stands. So I would say probably the Jaguars and Chargers are probably the most evenly matched of the entire.
I think the Jaguars are a better
matchups.
Team.
Maybe Giants, Vikings, but the Vikings are at home and they have a pretty good home field advantage. So I would say I'd go Jags over the Chargers as like my upset pick of the week.
I agree. I think the Jags are a better team than the Chargers is currently constructed. Obviously, Vegas, is going to set the line because they feel like that's how the betting market.
It's 2.5 plus 2.5 right now. Even though
they're going to set that 2.5 because they know a lot of the tickets, a lot of the money is going to go to the Chargers based off the whole season, if you will. But if we're talking about who's playing better ball even within the last 6 weeks, you've got to favor Jacksonville. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over the Chargers. So I agree there.
Okay. So, Spicy, can you go to the Pick'em lobby? Because I need to showcase our Pick'em line for everybody.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, so the reason Spicy has this special line here, Justin Herbert over 0.5 completions, which is obviously a lock unless he went down before he can complete a pass. The reason he has that is because he used promo code FSC at sign up and first deposit. And for those of you guys that have already used our promo code in the past, you should have this line also. It doesn't have to be recent that you used our promo code. Just if you've used it, period, then you will have this special pick'em line. But again, if you haven't already used our promo code, you can get access to it by using it. Promo code FSC, sign up and first deposit, 100% match back, get entry into the giveaway that we will be doing Saturday before the games on the live stream. And let's build out a 4-buy pick'em right now. Let's see what we like. So we're getting a freebie with Justin Herbert. I'll let you pick the first one. Who do you like?
So can we scroll down? Well, I mean, the one that you want to pick first. So you could just say the 49er player that you like.
Yeah, I like Elijah Mitchell to go over 38.5 rushing yards in this game. I think they're going to be up. They're 9.5 point favorites. Elijah Mitchell has shown when he's been on the field. I mean, he's efficient when he gets carries, and he also probably will get more carries now that it's the playoffs. Things really matter. They're going to want to protect their young rookie quarterback. So I think they're going to lean on Mitchell and lean on McCaffrey. So I like Mitchell to go over 38.5 rushing yards. He's got, high end speed too. So he can always break off a long one.
Yeah. So we can scroll. Wow. That go back up to Brandon Ayuk. I don't know which one I like more. The fantasy points or the fantasy points are the receiving yards. I'll go fantasy points because I do feel like if there's one receiver from that core, he's shown that he's, been able to score touchdowns down the stretch. Brock Purdy has given them, a little bit more of a passing ceiling than what Jimmy Garoppolo is in terms of throwing touchdowns. And I'm just going to go with Brandon.
He can get there on yardage too. If he just like that one game, he caught 5 for 81, like he can definitely get the fantasy points on yardage as well. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit more. Maybe go to the Bucks Cowboys game. Let's go to the Bucks Cowboys game and find something we like, just because those are our two teams. Yeah, ETN's rushing yards are also interesting. Let's go down Bucks Cowboys. Who do we love in the Bucks Cowboys? Do we have a touchdown score one maybe for Elliott or for? Okay, so
I'll
8.95 fantasy points is like, does Elliott score a touchdown basically?
Pretty much, but given his touchdown scoring odds, I think he probably does. Go to Evans or
suck up 1.5 field goals made is also kind of interesting.
I like the under on Evans receptions. 5 receptions is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that's not a bad number for him, I would say. The fantasy points is also interesting too.
That's basically again if he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I like. I'll take the Give me the under on his fantasy points. I think I like that the most.
I don't
For
mind
Evans.
that. He's protected more than Godwin solely because of the touchdowns, right?
Yeah, I mean, like aside from the 43-point game, like he's not a guy that's gonna always be, consistently getting a bunch of yardage. And even in that game, 5 for 83, and he still didn't get that number of fantasy points. He pretty much has to find the end zone plus get like 40 receiving yards, 50 receiving yards.
100%. And you know what? We can do a Cowboys one because we got a Bucks one. Go to the Cowboys players. I mean, like, I think I'm
I
going
don't
to take
mind
the
Dalton
under on.
Schultz's receiving yards there.
I was going to take the under on Zeke's total yards. 58.5 is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough run defense. He's been
Yeah.
relatively inefficient, so I like that one too.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I know.
we'll put that one in. Obviously, just showcase how much the entry amount. So, like, if we put $20 on this, we'd have 400, right? So, and again, we're getting one for free. And also, if you wanted to insure it, if you wanted
you can insure a boosted entry.
Oh, you can insure a boosted entry. Okay, so never mind. You can insure boosted entries, but if you do regular entries, also you can. If you do a 5-leg, pick 'em, you can get. I believe it 2.5x your money if you get 4 of them right or something like that. Yep. On that, yeah. So you get 2.5x your money if you do a 5-leg and you only get 4 correct, which I think is pretty solid as well. So definitely that is the us showcasing the pick'em line. Make sure to check that out if you guys have already used our promo code in the past. If you haven't already used it, go ahead and do so. Contest details linked down below in the description. Let's do one more draft in here if you want to. I'll take you off the screen here, Spicy, so you can deposit a couple more bucks so we can get into the next contest. We'll answer some questions in the meantime. I have ETN a lot as a round 1 or 2 play in some mittens. I feel like the Chargers run defense matchup isn't being talked about as much. Yeah, the Chargers are awful against the run. Like they're
I love ETN.
Yeah, ETN's a great one-off for those of you guys that draft a lot of Chiefs, draft a lot of Eagles, just because he has a great first-round matchup. And even if the Jags don't win that game, by some miracle, they are underdogs in that game, then ETN should have, 70 yards and a touchdown or something like that. And that should help you advance some Jalen Hurts teams, advance some Patrick Mahomes teams if you need to. And if you do get 2 rounds out of them, that's even better, obviously.
Yep.
Momentum is on the Jaguars side where they hold at home. They win second round on the road. They lose in the AFC Championship game. That'd be a pretty decent run for the Jaguars. And I mean, for what it's worth, the 4 seed last year made the Super Bowl from the AFC and the NFC, and the Jags are the 4 seed. Imagine if we get another 4 seed versus 4 seed and we have a Jags-Bucks Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Or hear me out. We could get a nice little 5v5 seed with the Chargers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, ew, get out of here. That would involve.
Come on, you have to admit that would be a fun Super Bowl.
It would be a fun Super Bowl, but that involves 2 of the biggest choke artists making a run.
But that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine the narrative going into that game? These teams have been choking for the last 20 years. Which, by the way, like the mid 2000s Chargers are basically the mid 2010s Cowboys. If you really look at it.
All right, so we got Spicy out ready to go with the next draft here. Let's get it entered. If you guys, again, if you're in the chat and you want to just, if you want to join up with us, all you have to do is hit enter at the same time we do, and you'll be in here. Just please do not snipe us, and we will be cool with that. So get an enter going here, Spicy, and then we'll also be live tomorrow before the games, just breaking down like bets and like stuff like that. Me and Danny might do like a bracket challenge or something on stream, just so you guys can see what we kind of think of the playoffs going forward. But we are in the draft here. We have the 105 again. Unfortunately, I wish we had a little bit of a different pick here, but hopefully we can get a different player other than
build
Hurts.
out a different team. Yeah. I think the one I'm looking at, and I'm praying that Wigglesworth doesn't ruin, is potentially a Chase Burrow. If that can happen, that'll be hot.
Yeah. The tough thing though is like, which one do you go with first, Burrow or Chase?
I think you got to go with Chase and risk it that he won't take a quarterback that he can't stack.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing too is if you go Chase and you like don't get it or whatever, you could always try and backdoor like a Chase Jefferson and go with like a Vikings maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking like Jefferson, maybe even Lamb, like someone like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You got options, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's stacking up the Cowboys is probably a pretty good move right now. Like when we were doing drafts, like you had to take Lamb at the borderline first round. You had to take Dak, in the second round usually. Pollard and Zeke were going pretty high also. So now, I mean, you can build out a Chase Burrow. Like if we somehow get Chase Burrow at 5 and 8, we could still potentially get Lamb with our next pick if he slides.
You want to hear something funny, right? So the 2 games, Tampa Bay and Washington, Dak had like by far his worst games of the season, like negative EPA. Like he was terrible in those games. I will say he was terrible in those games. Even when you include those games, he's still a top 8 graded quarterback in terms of EPA.
Yeah. In
He was number
fashion. He's beating up on bad teams.
Number 3 coming into the week though, and he fell to 8.
We got to
that's
take
how bad
Mahomes
of a
here,
game.
I think.
Yes. What?
We got to take Mahomes.
What? Dude, yeah.
He went Burrow 1.
Yo. Okay, hear me out. Wigglesworth, don't ruin it. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't. Oh, God, if we get Kelce here.
Wigglesworth.
Please take Brown. Take Brown. Oh, you piece of shit.
We're taking Brown. We're taking Brown. Fuck it.
We build up a 5, try and predict the 5 stack.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Let's do it.
Okay, so yeah, go with Brown here. Yeah, I don't want to go with. I mean, it's possible that Chase and the Bengals don't see the Chiefs for a while, but
+2,
the idea of trying to build up the perfect 5.
+2, this puts us in a position to absolutely ruin him in the next round. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. So what we're going to attempt to do, this is something that, a lot of people are going to avoid doing, right? People are not going to want to do this because it means you're drafting 2 1 seeds. So what we're going to attempt to do is build out a hit the nuts in the Super Bowl team. And basically what we're going to do, you have 10 roster spots. You have to start 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receiver / tight ends, and a flex. So what we're going to try and do is build out like a Mahomes, a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl with 5 players from those 2 teams combined, and then build out a first-round advance type of remaining 5 players. Because we have 2 teams on bye, obviously we have to hit the nuts twice with this type of team. We have to hit the nuts in the first round, and we have to hit the nuts in the Super Bowl. But I think if you can pull this off, this will, if the Super Bowl plays out this way, where it's the Chiefs and the Eagles, which again, Super Bowl odds would dictate is very likely, given that they both have 1 seeds, then a lot of teams will be eliminated because a lot of people avoid doing this. They build out Bills, Eagles, they build out, Chiefs, 49ers, whatever the case is. We'll eliminate a lot of teams if this ends up happening.
Yep. Where we have to go if he does fall.
Yeah, we got to go Devontae Smith here, probably.
God.
Hopefully we get Jerick McKinnon with the next pick. But see, here's the tough thing, though, is that Jigglesworth has Kelce. So we probably should take McKinnon.
And Hurts. I think we should go with Devontae Smith.
Does he have Hurts also?
Yes.
Shit, he does. So he's building exactly what. Okay,
that's
so
what I'm saying.
Would say build Smith, and then we take Sanders if he takes Hurt.
McKinnon. He might go both. I would go both.
God, I hope not. Oh, he took Lamb.
Okay.
Lamb actually slid, which is pretty crazy.
Probably Sanders here.
Yeah, so I would say we go Sanders here.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Lamb sliding is crazy, but also this guy can kick rocks.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 4 players now in the Super Bowl. We just need 1 more, probably like a Goddard. Maybe we take a Chief.
2 more.
Yeah, I think we should probably take a Chief. So we could go with Pacheco, maybe.
Pacheco or Juju if he falls, absolutely.
Yeah, Juju if he falls for sure has to be the guy, I think.
Yeah.
If he doesn't fall, then we should probably take a couple one-offs, and then we can just settle for like a Tony or a MVS or a Hardman or something like that.
I dig that strat.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get a nice onesie to fall here. If like we get like a Dalvin Cook falls to us or something like that, that would be pretty interesting. Maybe a Saquon would also be good too.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Juju falls, you have to.
Yeah, if Juju falls, we have to pick him. Yeah, we have to pick him if he falls. If we got somehow Higgins falling, would be awesome.
Question: if Juju doesn't fall, hypothetically,
this guy just took Boyd over Higgins. What are you doing, sir?
Dude, question: if Juju doesn't fall, are we gonna go Goddard?
Oh, he took both. Okay, never mind.
Why did you reach on Boyd that far?
No, I think we shouldn't take Goddard. I think we should take another Chief.
Okay. So then we could go like Tony Pollard then, or Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Pollard would be interesting. Dalvin Cook would be interesting. We'll get one of them here. I think
Juju before anything though. We have to take.
Okay, we take Juju here, and then hopefully one of them falls. I think this guy will probably take Tony Pollard because he has Lamb.
Yeah,
but he went Pollard. Hopefully he doesn't take Cook too. Okay, so he took Goddard, and that makes our decision easy. So we go Dalvin Cook here. They're not expected to play the Eagles until I guess it would probably be the NFC Championship most likely because they'd be likely to play the 49ers in the second round if they beat the Giants. So yeah, that works out pretty well. So Dalvin Cook so we've built out our 5 stack in the Super Bowl: Mahomes, Sanders, AJ Brown, Smith, and Juju. Now we need to build out a 5 stack for round 1, and I think Prescott is probably what you're about to say, right?
I was gonna say maybe Prescott and Schultz.
Yeah, hopefully Prescott can fall. I think there's a bunch of Cowboys players that are like in between us that might take Prescott here. The guy who has Lamb doesn't pick before us, but I believe the guy who has I guess he took Pollard also. So maybe it's just the guy who has, I guess, nobody else. Like Zeke's on the board.
Or we can go with Kirk Cousins.
We could go with Kirk Cousins also. That actually probably would make a little bit more sense.
I think we go Kirk.
Yeah, we could take Zeke. Okay, never mind. I was
Kirk
say,
and Hawkinson, maybe.
Yeah, we could do that. Could go ETN potentially.
We're not worried about stacking because we already have the 5 that we're going to make for the Super Bowl now. Realistically, if anything, we're going to map out some NFC and AFC championships.
Realistically. Like, ideally, we want to line it up so that they don't play each other for a couple rounds or something, but we're pretty much just looking for, like, the best matchups, and I think ETN, to me, would probably be my pick if he slides.
Oh.
We picked before him, so we'll have Cousins before him.
J-Pop went with Hawk. I don't mind going ETN, yeah.
Hopefully, ideally, we can get ETN with our pick and then Cousins with our next pick.
Yep.
Hopefully, this guy doesn't take ETN. He has 2 running backs already, so hopefully he doesn't. Damn it. Okay, so we go Cousins here probably.
Cousins for sure.
Yeah, Cousins and then maybe Schultz or Christian Kirk with our next pick.
I would say Kirk. So
we could also go Tyreek too, because Tyreek is just like, again, we're trying to just advance a team.
Yeah, we could do that.
I think Tyreek should probably be our pick. If we're going to pick one player to have 20 fantasy points and lose in the first round, it's probably Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go Tyreek Hill.
Okay,
so you can see the betting pessimism on the Dolphins versus Jags at full display there.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean they're 14-point underdogs, and if they put up 20 points and Tyreek Hill has 2 touchdowns, like that's going to help our team big time.
Yeah, 100%. Also, Mike Williams, big pain in terms of his ADP now. Him being hurt.
Oh God, this guy.
Kirk probably.
Yeah. I get an AFC player. We already have a lot of NFC stuff, so take Christian Kirk here. So we got Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and Christian Kirk to ride in the first round.
Maybe another running back.
Yeah, that would probably make some sense. I don't know. There's not a lot of. I guess we could go Fournette maybe with our next pick.
Yeah.
We could go with him one off Mark Andrews too. Mark Andrews is another guy that could just find the end zone twice.
I don't mind that. I'm just like looking down and maybe seeing if we have some correlators. Like I guess like maybe Thielen. That could make sense too.
The Ravens would be a good team to pick players from, just because they wouldn't be likely to see our Chiefs right away.
That's true. I don't mind going with Thielen though, so we can work out.
I guess they would actually. They're the 6th seed. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't mind working out a potential NFC championship in Minnesota versus Philadelphia.
Yeah. So you want to?
Thielen.
I don't love that personally. I think we already have. I guess we already have Cousins though, so we could stack.
That's what I'm saying.
But we have Cousins and Cook, right? Like if Cook's going to do well, he's probably going to be on the back of touchdowns. I think that's the only way Thielen does well as well. So I personally would steer clear of the Vikings
and just wait until like maybe an Osborne last round if we get
maybe. Yeah, we're just trying to get the best 2 players that'll help us advance at this point in time. So to me, I think Andrews is one of them. I think Andrews should be our pick here. Because if Mike Williams was playing, I'd say take Mike Williams, but I don't know if he's playing.
Go down a little bit. Let's just see what else is available. I don't mind. Put Andrews in the queue, and let's just see if there's any other one-offs that are like elite like that too.
We could take a one-off Fournette also.
Waddle,
Dobbins. Waddle's interesting. I think
Waddle's very interesting.
I like
Lockett.
Yeah, I just don't. We got potential rain situation in that game. I think I would rather go Waddle, considering we missed out on Hill.
Go Waddle.
Waddle. Let's go Andrews first, and then we'll go Waddle second.
Yeah. Okay, I dig it.
Yeah, again, when you're building out this, you got to change your thinking a little bit when you're building out a team like this, because we have to hit the nuts in the Super Bowl, right? So we also have to build out a team that's going to hit the nuts in the first round, and hitting the nuts in the first round to me just drafts the best players. Like just get the best one week production. Even if we only get 1 week out of Cousins, Cook, Christian Kirk, Mark Andrews, these guys, you still have a chance at making it far.
100%. So a Waddle did get taken.
Okay, so shit. Okay, do we want to? We can't take Tony. We have to take a one-off. I say we go Fournette.
Go Fournette. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah,
let's go Fournette.
I guess we maybe could have gone Dobbins and just hoped that they made maybe like a 2 or 3 game run, but
yeah, I don't know.
I think the way that the NFC would shake out on this side of the conference would be that the Eagles play the Bucs in the second round if we're betting on this, or we just get 1 week out of Fournette. Who knows? Yeah. And then the Vikings and
I do
Vikings
feel like
Eagles play each other in the NFC.
Hear me out. I do feel like the betting odds are going to favor the Cowboys and Bucks like being like a very like low scoring type of game, but I actually like think it's going to be high scoring. I don't think it's going to be this, 2014, 2017 game. I think like the winning team's going to have to score 28 plus points.
I personally disagree.
Really?
It's gonna be a low scoring game. Yeah.
Reason why I disagree is because realistically, the Cowboys' strength people want to associate directly to their defense, but since the cornerbacks have been getting hurt, it has been their offense.
The sharps are on your side as well. The over is getting 73% of the steam at 45.5 right now. I personally would take the under in that game though.
I think 45 gives you a good threshold because I think it was earlier this week at 42.5, 43.5. So it's risen then.
The reason I think 45.5 I would take the under on is because I think one of two scenarios plays out. Either the Bucs win that game, close game, they win by their defense, or the Bucs lose that game and don't score a lot of points. So I don't see the Bucs scoring points regardless.
So basically, you think like the Cowboys are either going to blow them out or the Bucs are going to win close, and it's going to be
I really don't think that we're going to get a Bucs hanging 30 on the Cowboys defense. I just don't see it with the way that the offense have played this year. I think the only way we win this game is if we can hold the Cowboys to get some turnovers on defense, score some field goals and stuff, get a touchdown or two maybe, and we win 21-17 or something.
Yep. For sure. We actually got Joe from the draft. I appreciate that. He says, I was Joe's drafts in that draft. I picked Burrow first because I knew it was easy to start. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going off the board there. Not a lot of
That's a lot of Bengals. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people are going to have all those players.
Saying.
So if you get a one-off game out of Boyd or something, then, that'll help you advance a Bengals stack.
Yeah, and realistically, if I love the Bengals stack at the 6-7 spot to get, Burrow and Chase, like you still got Burrow and Chase, but you did it at the 1 spot. So realistically, you're getting access to Higgins, Boyd, et cetera, in different spots. So I don't mind that. I think Burrow's one of the players that I'm fine reaching on in these contests. It's just when I get into a guy like Christian McCaffrey or a elite quarterback that I'm like, ugh. Like when I see Brock Purdy going high, I'm like, what the fuck? Like Brock Purdy's going 15, 20 picks before Dak and fucking Herbert. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm just gonna real quick. I want to go over PFF Greenline stuff here because I kind of find it interesting. If you guys are making some bets this weekend on some of these games, this is like where the money's kind of leaning. So with the Seahawks 49ers game, 98% of the money is on the 49ers money line, but only 58% of it is on the 49ers spread. So given that this is expected to be a close game, some of the sharps are betting the Seahawks against the spread, or sorry, not a close game, a weather game. So it's possible that the game is lower scoring. The Seahawks can keep it close as a result. The over-under is 42 in that game, and the under is catching 96% of the steam. So I think a lot of people are buying into the weather narrative and probably betting the under for that reason. But I also think if the under is getting that much steam, I think the Seahawks plus 9.5 is actually a pretty decent
free bet.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. Also, did you see the All-Pro teams that fucking Talanoa Hufanga got first team All-Pro
over who?
Derwin James.
Yeah, Ufanga's had a great season. He's got a lot of production.
He hasn't been good like the last 6 weeks though.
Right, but he has a lot of box score stuff, right? Like sacks and
at the beginning of the year, yeah. Like I know the last, I want to say in his first 8 games, he had 5 picks and only 1 touchdown allowed. And in his last 8 games,
he scored a couple defensive scores, I think, too, hasn't he?
In that stretch, yeah. But in the last 8 games, I want to say he's allowed 6 touchdowns in coverage.
Yeah, I mean that's not great, obviously, but this Chargers Jags game too has some interesting stuff. The over is catching 82% of the steam at 47.5. The bets are split right now. The Jags are getting 51% of the cash. So like the sharps and the public have no idea who to bet in that game, whether it's Chargers minus 2.5 or Jags plus 2.5. I think
the sharps are on Jags.
You take the home dog. Personally, that's where I'd be at with that. You take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Chargers
money line is actually getting the bet. Is getting the money.
Really,
most of the money. Yeah, 64%.
Wow. Okay. What about the spread?
Making it difficult, right? The 2.5 is what's making it difficult for people.
So are the sharps like confused on the points too?
They're 51% of the money is on the Jags, but the tickets 57% is on the Chargers. So the sharps are slightly leaning the Jags, and the public slightly leaning the Chargers.
Not bad. Side note: did you see? So all pro receivers, first team all pros were in order: Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Devontae Adams. Second team All-Pro would have been A.J. Brown, Stefon Diggs, and CeeDee Lamb for the All-Pro teams. First team All-Pro quarterback, obviously Patrick Mahomes. Second team Jalen Hurts. Running back Jacobs and then Chubb. Tight end Kelce and
first team All-Pro running back.
Jacobs, yeah.
I probably would have taken McCaffrey over him, but
McCaffrey didn't even make second team either.
Chubb was the second team?
Yeah, McCaffrey didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Second team Chubb is a little aggressive.
McCaffrey didn't even make the Pro Bowl. He got voted behind Sanders and
I would probably 3 or 4
Pollard.
running backs before I voted Chubb as his second team.
Probably.
He did have a great start to the season though, so I guess that's fair.
Sanders and Pollard got in the Pro Bowl over McCaffrey too.
That's ridiculous. Sanders should definitely have been in.
Let me see here. Edge
I can
rushers,
see Pollard, but Sanders no.
Edge rushers, Bosa, Parsons on first team, Garrett and Reddick on second team. That's probably about par.
Doesn't Reddick have like 15 sacks?
He's got 16, yeah, but his pressure numbers
crazy.
aren't. His pressure numbers are much lower than Bosa and Parsons, so I get
like
it.
A
And even
Shaq
Garrett,
Barrett season, kind of.
pretty much, yeah. Jair Alexander got second team All Pro. What?
Over Sauce?
Sauce and Sertan were on first team.
Sauce was first team All Pro as a rookie.
Yeah.
That's
second
insane.
team was Alexander and James Bradbury. Bro, like Jair Alexander had games where he got fucking caught.
Wait, so Bradbury got in over Slay on second?
Yeah.
I think I put Slay over Bradbury.
I put Slay over Alexander. Fuck, if we're talking about just this year, I put fucking Diggs.
I mean,
over
Jair
Alexander.
had like what, a good game against Jefferson. He gets fucking second team All
Got
Pro
one good game where I'm not sure if you saw the conditions. It was fucking pouring out before the game. Everybody in a Vikings uniform was slip and sliding throughout the game. Like, did you see like clips of literally? Yeah. So like, we're gonna hype him up, even though Jair Alexander is quite literally CeeDee Lamb's firstborn. So.
Yeah. Also, Danny, in our Cowboys Bucks game, you're not going to want to hear this, but the Sharps 68% of the cash is on the Bucks plus 2.5, and 74% of the cash is on the Bucks money line.
Yeah, that's funny.
The public and the Sharps are taking the Bucks.
Yeah, but it's recency bias. Let's be real.
It probably. Also, for what it's worth, the public and the Sharps think that the Giants are going to win. 91% of the cash is on the Giants plus 3, and 93% of the cash is on the Giants money line.
I think it was Sam Sherman that tweeted it, I want to say.
Yeah, I saw the tweet. I know what you're talking about.
It's true. The reason why the betting trends are what they are is because the last time we saw the Cowboys, they looked terrible. And we know that the narrative coming in is, the Cowboys don't win playoff games.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. And again, that's part of my, worry personally is that, I want to be excited. I want to say, the Cowboys are objectively the better team. The better team should win this game. But what I've fucking seen from this exact same team fucking being in this position, you can't be fully fucking invested is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I want to just...
if I had to bet one of the spreads, I think I would take the Cowboys minus 2.5.
It's just... Man, I want to do it.
We don't have a huge home field advantage, so that's one thing, right? I think the crowd will probably be split. To be honest, it'll probably be half Bucks fans, half Cowboys fans, because we don't have a crazy home field advantage, and we're just not that good. Like, our offense is the worst unit in the game is absolutely the Bucks offense.
But the thing is, Corey, is it doesn't matter how good you guys are. Because of the narrative, because of Tom Brady, and because of what we've shown in the playoffs before, we're never going to get an overwhelming, we should dominate. We're never going to get a 49ers, we should crush the Seahawks. Because, realistically this year, the Bucks and the Seahawks have been very similar teams. Let's be real.
Yeah,
so you know what I'm saying? But because of the Tom Brady effect, because of the pre-narrative coming into the game, it's never going to be that unanimous. And in fact, as you mentioned, people are preferring the Bucks because of the narrative.
Yeah, if I had to lay some cash, my life depended on it, I had to pick one of the two teams to win, I would pick the Cowboys.
Man, I just want to see a playoff win. If we win a playoff game, I feel like this team can
I just get a good game, honestly, too.
Yeah, the Cowboys are that team where going into the game, I have no faith, but if they do win a playoff game, I think they can string a few. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think you should be any less or any more confident if you win against the Bucks versus if you obviously if you lose against the Bucks, you're gonna be less confident. But I don't think you should be more confident going into divisional round having beaten the Bucks than you should be now.
I would disagree. The reason being is right now we're working under the pessimistic mindset that it doesn't matter how good this team is, we still have to see them win in the playoffs. The Cowboys are their biggest enemy in the playoffs because on paper, they can match up with any
this
team.
This game is going to be penalties and turnovers, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
The most if the Bucks play a clean game, no turnovers, no penalties on offense, their defense is good enough to create some, and they should be able to get some short fields, maybe a field goal, maybe a defensive score, something like that, and that's good. What's going to determine this game? I think most football games are determined by penalties and turnovers, but I would say this one especially will be.
Well, I'll bring up a funny narrative from last year. So everybody remembers last year, San Francisco took care of Dallas. They out-physicaled them, and they made, an NFC championship run. This great team, right? And I agreed. They had a really good playoff run. They beat us. They beat Green Bay. They probably should have beaten the Rams. What people don't remember from that game is that it was a 6-point fucking game. The Cowboys had 14 fucking penalties, and they had a chance to win it at the end if Cedric Wilson was able to adjust on that pass from Dak on 4th down. Like,
Right.
nobody remembers that. Everybody remembers the slide. Nobody remembers the drive before when Cedric Wilson had a chance to convert inside the 49ers 25 and couldn't come back to the football on 4th and 8.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
It's going to be really crazy, man. I think whatever team beats themselves is going to be the one that loses this game. If the Bucs have a lot of penalties and turnovers, they're going to lose. If the Cowboys have a lot of penalties and turnovers, they're going to lose. I don't think we're going to get a clean game from both teams. No. One of these teams is going to fuck up. I don't know which team it's going to be, but it's going to be one of them.
Well, the way we've been playing in the trenches in like the last 5 or so weeks, we haven't been able to run the ball. We
might have one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL right now, dude. Without Barrett, like our pass, and the way Vea's played this year, like Tryon's been the only guy that's like playing with like motor and effort. Like I swear to God, dude, our pass rush is better when Anthony Nelson and Carl Nassib are out there. Like, it's really strange.
So basically you're saying on paper the Cowboys should be able to throw the ball and throw the ball well.
They should be able to. I mean, maybe not throw the ball as in like downfield, because I think our secondary is good enough to be able to stop stuff like that. But you should be able to do some like death by a thousand paper cuts type of stuff.
So CeeDee Lamb script.
Yeah, and Pollard in the passing game and stuff too, and Schultz. Whenever I have Mahomes, I love Daniel Jones really late. Yeah, I think that's a fine pairing.
I like that.
For Mahomes teams. Mike Williams, has he been officially ruled out already?
Yeah, he's already been ruled out. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's definitely interesting. Maybe Josh Palmer with Mike Williams. Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Okay, so we're about, we already talked about that. We're about 50 minutes in. If you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to knock them through, and we will get to them. Again, we are going to be coming at you guys with our Dynasty rankings updates. We did pretty much buy and sell trade targets all week this week at every position. If you want to check out all those videos, again, last chance to sign up on Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code FSE, get in some of these playoff best ball tournaments. You know the seedings, you know everything now, so there's no real risk to you. The Gauntlet is unfortunately the last tournament that's live right now because the mitten just filled, and I don't think we're going to get another one because we're like 27 hours away from the games kicking off. But definitely, these are a ton of fun. Even if you wanted to, sign up on Underdog, use our code FSE for $50. With $50 when you sign up, you'll have $100 on the site to play with. That's 4 Gauntlet drafts that you can do. And then if you win the contest, which is a good chance that you will, then you'll have another $50 coming your way that you can do some pick'em entries or whatever with throughout the playoffs or during the Super Bowl, or if you want to save it for that. So definitely check that out. Link down below in the description, link in the pinned comment of a lot of our videos as well. Definitely appreciate all the support you guys have shown us this year. New year, new us here, 2023, going to make it a big one. We're going fast and furious with the Dynasty content right off the bat. We're not taking any time off. I am going to Mexico later this month, so we'll put that aside for a second. But for the most part, we're not taking any time off. So definitely stay tuned for all that. Tail of the tapes will be starting as soon as we know it. Mid-February, I would say. Early February is when I'm going to kick those off. And then we're into rookie draft season before you know it. And I know all of you guys are very, very excited for that. I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of draft picks, as do me and Danny. So we're stoked to get into the rookie talk.
Yep. 100%. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed about 52 minutes thus far. If you have a team in the playoffs outside of the Bucs, because obviously I'm hoping my team beats the Bucs, good luck in your matchups. But until then, take care and enjoy.